as you notice, all of our reserved holidays fall on a Monday through Friday. So technically, we budgeted for that. So really declaring an additional holiday does not have a direct budget impact. It will have obviously an impact on productivity. So because you may have to redo schedules when you come back and that kind of thing, which we do anyway. When you come back out holiday, I'll make the tax the highest priorities first, that kind of thing. So I just wanted to kind of clear that up, that declaring a holiday doesn't necessarily have a budget impact, but it does have an overall productivity impact. So it's, like I said, we do budget for each employee 28 hours for each annually on a Monday through Friday 8-hour day basis. So that's all I wanted to do, because I've already had a couple of inquiries about this.
Thanks for the numbers, Larry.
Do you have overtime added into this for the garbage guys and the water plants?
No, we don't. And what we'll attempt to do is reschedule as if we can to avoid, changing pickup dates, that kind of thing.
Well, they do work on these holidays.
They do, but we can't. Sometimes we can schedule around it. If we had to change the pickup date, we can. But
I don't think we ever changed the garbage pickup on a holiday.
But
the guys at the water plant are gonna have somebody out there during the day. Just a question.
Yeah,
I'm just asking.
not necessarily with the water plant. I mean, we have it covered out. We have a number of hours that we have to cover for the DEP permit. But like I said, it's we obviously have people out there more than is required by that permit. So
we will have 3 guys on the garbage truck.
Okay.
And maybe a sewer plant too, if somebody gets called out on the water.
We get called out. Like I said, we do budget for we have people on standby and call-ins, emergency. So as we incur that overtime, we will adjust our. If that overtime goes up, we will adjust the amount that we're going to be budgeting for overtime.
Okay, that's good.
Based on.
And everything you didn't change anything, everything on the holidays and the schedule has been the same way it's been for years. All we did was just add another holiday.
Yes.
That's all we did.
So that's all I wanted to do with this.
Hey, thank you, Larry. Anybody have anything else on this? All right. Item number 6, discuss and approve swapping lots with the First Baptist Church, city owned, 370 Avenue J, block 19, lot 6, and east half of 7, and church owned 357 Avenue J, block 158, lots 12 and 13.
Steve, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
I attend this church. Is there going to be a conflict to vote on it?
Motion to swap.
Hold on.
This was on the agenda for last meeting. It was pulled and come back tonight. There was, in addition to this being on there was a side discussion with an individual that was also possibly looking at purchasing that the city's lot. However, since that time, that person has backed out, is no longer wants to be in consideration for that, and obviously is supporting this swap. So, like I said, so it's coming back again tonight, for that. Basically, we're swapping the one lot for two lots that that now belong to the church.
Mr. Decker?
Hold on. Mark, you got anything?
We're gonna make a motion to swap lots 12 and 13 for, give them Baptist Church. And
I think we're getting from them 12 and 13, we're
right,
giving to them, we're trading with them 1.5 lots, which would be lot 6, 1/2 of lot 7. So we'll get 2 buildable lots.
12 and 13.
Mm-hmm.
and we're giving them 6.5. or 6?
6 and,
Seven, yeah.
the east 1/2 of 7.
Okay, block 19, lot 6, and half of lot 7 to the Baptist Church, 4 lots, 12 and 13 in block 158.
Correct.
Second.
Motion by Mark, seconded by Jake to trade swap 370 Avenue J, block 19, lot 6, and east half of 7 for 357 Avenue J, block 158, lots 12 and 13. Is there any discussion?
I do have discussion.
Go ahead, Jake.
Before we officially swap, there'll more than likely need to be a corner to corner survey, just to identify the property.
What I can do is order a title search report for the church's lots. Or maybe my paralegal can do it on her own, but I normally would order just to know what we're getting,
Right.
but we wouldn't do a survey.
Okay.
Unless you want a survey.
Well,
Well, we are acquiring new property, and these lots belong to people that had passed away in the past.
The
so-
church's lots?
Yes, sir. So the question, now we just did the title search and everything on our.
Well,
our
yeah,
lot.
well, our
So
part we
that's
know,
fine.
about, right.
But on their property, in between the house and the chain link fence there where the dead oak trees are, I'm not 100% sure where that property line is, or if that chain link fence that belongs to that house might be over on our property a little bit too. Now, I'm not trying to make anybody move their fence, but they're,
If the church is in possession of a survey, it would be helpful. So if
Okay,
we
I
can
can
find
find
that
that
out,
okay.
I could look at that. But normally I would do a title search report for their property, and then I'll get back, and then I can look at it and do exchange of deeds.
So with the discussion, Mr. Mayor, I will to the church for a church survey. And I think I'd also like Mr. Ramuni to do the title search. And I'm ready to vote.
okay. Anybody else got anything? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously into the affirmative.
What y'all may want to think about doing is, and I don't know how many lots, residential lots I have in total. So for these lots, we know how much we have in it because we had the final judgment and then we had the foreclosure bid. So what we could do is we can compile a list and we can do an auction, and you can give a minimum bid of whatever per lot. And then if people want to bid over that minimum bid, and then at least it'll get those residential lots back into the pipeline. So for these two, you could, for instance, say, because let's say we have roughly 22,000 in between what will be the two lots, 11 and 11, and you can set, a minimum of 15 or 80 or whatever, where you make your money back and make a few more bucks, then you get it back going again.
Good.
I'd like a list though of what we have. I
Yeah,
mean,
that would be nice.
so we could put that together at least so we know what we're dealing, but that's one way to get it.
I'd like to get a list of all the city-owned residential properties.
We have these, and we have one on Avenue K next to Mrs. Cisneros. And the rest of the property that the city owns pretty much is around the city park. And on the back side of the yacht club, like you go over the dike, there's that whole dock that's mowed there. The DOT owns part of it, we own part of it, and the county owns the back of it. But with that being, we don't own that many. But the gentleman that was willing to purchase this lot for the church, he has property that we might possibly need in the future for sewer pipes. And he wants to put workforce housing on these lots right here. So before we go and put it up for sale, I'd like to get it in our name and everything first. And as we go along, I will fill you in on the plan if that's okay. He'd like to build homes on these 2 lots
Oh.
for his employees, not workforce housing like migrant housing. I didn't mean it like that. I meant homes for his supervisor.
Sure.
But as far as the compile, I can compile with Corey with Ashley's help. But as far as I know, for as long as I've been here, we're the only property we own. We own a lot of property, but it either is an easement, a right of way, or has a lift station on it, a utility of some sort.
That one in the outlet we traded.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
That's just a suggestion.
But you know, there's property like just past the south pump right here. That's county property. You know, the property down here belongs to the county. The county was giving us property for us to donate to Habitat to build homes and for water meters. It might be worth going after the county to see if they'll sign this riverfront property over to us here, because it's still within city limits. It's just between the south pump and like Maxine's house right there. And then this property back here is, you know, that's still considered city. But it might be worth, if you want to sell some property, see if the county will deed that over to us, and then we could possibly go come up with a plan like you're speaking about. But yeah, I'll compile a list. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Item number 7, report of officers. Larry?
Our project, our downtown project here, they have discovered that there's more muck than was anticipated based on the original soil samples and all that. And so they're continuing to work, but Craig A. Smith is in the process of developing a change order. That's going to have to come back before you to include that additional demucking that wasn't included in the original contract with Ridgedale. So they're working on that.
I was wondering.
Are they willing to eat some of that
I was
cost?
wondering
I mean,
about
it's on them.
how they were saying
That's what we'll have to determine. I mean, we'll have to determine at some point in time, is there, what kind of liability is there? I know they.
Are we still within the grant? Or no?
Yes. But what we're talking about is that originally, I mean, they did soil samples out here and apparently in some cases they were, it's off quite a bit. I mean, so it's, so they were out here last week and we did digs, you know, around the corner here and they did have new measurements and, you know, and they're, like I said, they're working on developing how much it's going to be and what the change order is going to be. But obviously it's going to have back change order. But like I said, at some point in time, I don't know, we have to consider, was there a liability that maybe they didn't adequately perform the soil samples, or you know, I don't know.
Can you send me the contract, please?
Yeah.
One thing that they,
But it's not. This is not on the contractor. The contractor bid on the contract.
No, but I want
on the numbers he was provided. But one thing is, like, for example, down here, muck's 5 foot deep. Over here, it's 2 foot deep. So unless they correct me wrong, they've taken just the average of 2 feet all the way on. And instead of, it's supposed to be 7 feet over there, they're still calling it 2 feet because it might only be a 20-yard pocket of 7 feet. But they're calling it 2 feet all the way around, which is somewhat already of a break for not for us, because we should get a break on it, but it is a good number that they're giving us instead of setting 7 feet. They'll figure it out. And still, when you say within the parameters of the grant, do you mean money wise? Yes.
Oh my gosh, yes.
But we might, like you said, to ratify the contract and,
Yeah, we'll have to do an amendment to the
I'm
contract, no
personally of the
doubt.
opinion that if we don't hear from the engineers by next Wednesday, we're going to put a stop work order on it until we get some solid numbers. And because you know, you can't see the top of that track over, that skid steer over there. And that is gonna, I would say, probably have less muck on it than this road right here next to the river. So I'm willing to go.
5 foot, is that what they're, or is that just,
Well,
but is the 5 foot a number you're just coming up with?
No.
That's the actual?
When we took
Sounds
the track up, dug down, and, you know, the first vein was 2 feet pretty much everywhere. But in some spots, we dug in, you know, 4 or 5 big deeps, and it was 5 foot, you know.
Man, when I demucked for my house, it was 5 foot there. And this is closer to the river. That's what's,
It was 5 foot at the doctor's office, man. And we talked about it too when the soil samples came out, but I'm not trying to blame anyone or do any shift blaming yet, but we do have to keep eye on the budget, and we're creeping into budget. We're creeping into,
grant money.
well, we are, but you know, there was X amount of dollars for demucking. Well, now we were going to use some of that money to do other things with, which, you know, stuff happens. But if they come and say, well, to demuck the rest of the streets off the top of their head, it's going to be an extra $180,000 worth of dirt. Okay, well, I need to have that number in a couple of days, not 2 weeks. So if we don't have that number of how much more it's going to cost by next Wednesday, we need to stop work order, because if not, I mean, we got to finish the project, whether it's capital money or whatever we do, but we've got to prepare for that. So
Yeah, it'd be like nice enough if we're going to go back and get another 50 or 300.
I didn't bring that up earlier. So are you, that next Wednesday, do you think that's too far of a stretch? Or, I mean, that's a week from tomorrow, so another 7 days. Okay, yeah.
I mean, how far are they going to go in 7 days? You know,
Yeah.
as far as,
Well, this was
They went pretty far in the last couple of days.
I mean, this was last week when we dug the pilot holes. Last Thursday.
and really, we can't do anything until they give us the numbers anyway.
And the thing, it has to come out of there. We're paying Ridgedale regardless to sit there.
Let's do it
So, but if we got to get a number from our engineers,
so that we can.
a dollar amount
Yeah,
by next Wednesday.
exactly.
Is that all right, Steve? You good with that? That's a big decision.
Yeah.
To make those guys stop working, but you may even send an email to the engineers and let them know we're going to put a stop work on it next Wednesday if we don't hear some numbers.
I sent one yesterday, but without putting a specific date, but also referring to that we weren't going to continue much longer, be able to continue much longer without getting the change order.
Very good.
And so I'll follow up with them again tomorrow, and probably a little more specific that, like I said, we don't have anything by early next week. We're going to have to issue a stop order.
6 days, 5 days.
And this isn't something he just started yesterday. It's something I've asked him every single day, twice in the morning and afternoon. And when you send that many numbers over, I mean, they can't just sit down and figure it up right then. I mean, it's going to take them a few days, but we got to get a response from them. That's all I comment on Tibbs's report.
Okay. Larry, you got anything else?
Not this time.
Anybody got anything for Larry? Alicia? Mark?
Not at this time.
Brad?
No, sir.
All right. Thank you, Larry. City Attorney?
So I tried to follow up with Richard Pringle about the potable water protection zone. So I'm waiting for him to send me. I told him I would do their, if he sends me their formatted Word. So I'm trying to get that out of him so I can get the draft of that for him to review and then get on their agenda and then hopefully get the ball rolling with that project. But thanks for making the copies. That'll help because I'll deliver them to his office and to June Fisher's office as well, so they have it in front of them. Then just a brief update on CAPFA. We had we've been having a Tuesday afternoon call because there's a new prospective project I think I had mentioned before with University of Central Florida Foundation, similar to what we already have in place. So that's moving forward, and maybe looking at doing some public hearings in January, and then possible close in February, and that's approximately 175 million. So that's it.
Is anybody got anything for Steve?
I'll find out what meeting Angela
Yeah.
wants to come to in January. That's not the right calendar.
Well, it is still for right now.
Well, yeah.
Got anything for Steve?
Yeah, well, comment a little bit on where we're at. Last time we were in court, Mr. Baez was to have his junkyard experts.
Yeah,
reach out to you.
I got 3 on Friday. It's just a whole extra layer of work. That's
And to the council, that the judge asked Mr. Baez if he had any expert
Witnesses.
witnesses. And his expert witnesses are people that can come onto your property just because it looks like junk to you and I. These people can come onto the property and tell you that the busted out van with a broken window and 3 flat tires is worth how much money? I mean, is that what this guy?
I'm not even sure.
I mean, that, to dumb it down, that's kind of what it sounded like.
You know, if we weren't on record, I'd swear you're joking right now.
No, I'm
I've never heard, how can that be a witness? I
I
mean,
kind of looked at it as, okay,
I'm serious.
No, I know you are.
here's my expert witness to say that that's not a bottle of Purell. Because what's junk? Is that junk? Is it not junk? So my witness says this derelict vessel is not junk. So it's really, to me, I'm not gonna use, it just made a whole extra layer of work. So now, do I need to go get an expert or whatever, but I'll try to handle it.
I'm an expert on junk. I mean, but what? So my
Talk to
question.
him too.
No, exactly. My well, that's not my
I think,
what
I
happened? The judge said he had to show credentials and you know he had to show.
mean, he sent me, you got it here. He's got a copy of them if you want to look at it. Honestly, I was so disgusted that it was like, this is ridiculous.
So
I don't have the patience to
we're back
read
on
it.
the 20th then.
I'm gonna see what he wants to
Unless you can
do.
get us,
Yeah.
okay, yes.
There's other stuff going on.
Right.
So, but yes, he did file like 3 so-called experts.
Okay. All right, no more questions.
Alicia?
Mr. Rooney on
Mark,
property.
Well, while I'm on the subject, and then you and I had talked about it, I'm
Right.
sorry, about we may want to look
Yes.
at doing a magistrate
Yes.
as opposed, because Judge Lundy's going to be gone
yes,
at the end of next year or sooner.
we need,
I'm going to tell you, the new judge is not
Yeah.
going to want to do the code enforcement.
it's something we need to seriously think about, because a magistrate will take care of it a lot quicker than a judge.
You hear
And
it
if
all the
we,
time.
and it,
You hear it all the time
Yeah.
on the radio.
you know, you live WAFC, boy, he's gonna put it on there, but if you go.
So what
in-
Hendry does, because I have like 5 or 6 cases right now with code enforcement over there, but on the other side, they do a joint court date, city and the county, present their cases on that same date. Theirs is once a month. Now, would we need once a month? I don't think so, but we might want to look at, you know, an analysis on financial, what it would take to start looking at doing that, and you at least have a more routine or repetitive process, and it would hopefully streamline that a little
It
bit.
was definitely something we would want to look at with the county and make it more worthwhile. But I think in the long run, it'll help us.
Okay.
It'll fast track some of this.
Most of my experience is they hire a special magistrate. You know, it doesn't have to be much. Usually it's like an an hour or so, for,
Quite honestly, I was taking advantage of the free judge, but
Yeah.
I could see that that's going to change when the elections come around,
and that way you can pick someone that's qualified and,
depending on who gets elected.
yeah, and you come in and, you do your business and get out, and usually they're, like I said, depending on who you hire, they're all usually they're quick, and they also know what they're doing.
Well, now, would the magistrate let us have 3 experts, so-called experts? Or, I mean,
I'll tell
or,
you what junk is or isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe with the magistrate,
Probably
you're saying
not.
it would have never got this far.
exactly,
I think it would be more streamlined and
yeah.
They're-
We wouldn't have been in the courtroom for an hour and a half.
Special magistrate, you would strictly will watch your code ordinances and what the code says.
Yeah.
They're not much for deviating from that.
I hadn't recovered from the first court date by the time I got that, so I didn't have the patience to quite honestly read it that day, so I put it to the side.
Yeah, it was quite the show. I don't have anything for me.
Okay, everybody got anything for Steve?
Sure.
Ashley?
I don't have anything.
Does anyone have anything for Ashley? Jake?
No, sir.
Lisa? Mark?
Badge.
It's ordered. It's
Okay,
ordered.
I'm good.
It's coming from China. So.
I had to
Okay.
order it on Amazon this time because we don't have Lions Printing no more. That's where we usually get it from.
Number F, letter F, Brad.
Operations are normal, so usual hiccups here and there, we took care of. I've already touched on the bridge project here. I talked to Go Underground, they should be here Thursday or Friday to resume their madness. And the plan is they're gonna go, when they get to the river, go to the other side and do what they have to do with their final thing they'll do, is pump the bore under the river. And they should have a proposal to me tomorrow, their office sent it to somebody else, for the renovation of the Avenue 8 lift station. Flanges, we need to renovate the whole thing, the pumps and everything, we're gonna be picking up a lot more load there. That all needs to be done, and that proposal should be there tomorrow, hopefully, or Thursday. Other than that, we just caught up on a few things, dock caps and painting the new wood that's been on there, that should be finished tomorrow, he started that today. I did have 15 gallons of some color over there that I didn't want to put on the dock, so when y'all decide if you want to paint it, just let me know what color, we'll go from there.
But the stuff you have is a sealer.
I'm colorblind and it was ugly.
Me too. It is a sealer. That's what our concern is, yeah. And those caps. I saw some of the boards that he took off the smaller docks.
They had broke loose out of it.
Yeah.
So
We really need them.
that was a safety issue.
Yeah, that was a good thing he was down there.
All right. Jake, anything, Brad?
Hay on the manger.
They didn't have any when he went to get it.
No, sir, that's all.
Is
Lisa?
that the name of a new rock?
Mark?
No, we don't.
Yeah, the major.
Yes, sir.
You good?
Yes, sir.
Brad, can you do me a favor? Next time you get a chance, look at these canals and the canal spraying. See where we're at. Let's start on it now. That way by next rainy season, we've got a better handle on it.
We sprayed a few, yeah. Continue.
All right. And I'm good. All right. Item 8, approval of the bills in the amount of $91,245.23.
Mayor, I'd like to make a change on the list there. There's a Performance Napa Auto Parts for a payment of $5,463.99.
Yes, sir.
That's for a tablet for the mechanic for Napa that has the codes on it that can do diagnostics in all of our vehicles. So that description of belt for a fence
Belt.
scanner is not correct.
It was bought together. Belt for a fan and the scanner together. That's what that slash means.
So, so a more correct definition of that is it is a tablet, which like I said, that they'll use to diagnose it. And then they provide updates to the program continuously. sleep kind of thing, so it'll save in the long run, because right now we have to pay someone, how much,
It's $900 pot just.
just here and do one, so.
Is this the one you have to buy the,
This is preloaded. It's-
so you don't have to buy a subscription ever?
I don't think it's on its own. I think-
Wow.
Was there two or three quotes
We've
put
already
out
used it and it.
before buying them?
Paid off already.
No,
Okay.
we did not. We had, this is proprietary because the Napa Zone has that software for this machine.
Okay,
So you consider it a proprietary
I got
purchase.
It's picked
It
up
was
truck
in the
and
original
truck.
budget though.
All of it.
Yeah, we
It wasn't
did,
the
we did budget.
Yeah, it was in the budget.
Okay.
Maybe I want to make that one correction there.
So motion to pay the bills in the amount of $91,245.23.
Alicia, any discussion?
I have one discussion on Queens Power South service and repairs on a generator replacing PO 555 wrong year. What was the PO had the wrong year on it?
Whenever we switched over the physical year, our system, I had to physically go in there and switch it over. I wasn't aware of that since it's the new system. So we had created like 3 or 4 POs that were in 2023 fiscal year that needed to be in 24. So we had to disable those and recreate them.
Okay. Generator's good though? It's running good. What generator
You
was
didn't
it?
understand it.
It's a loader generator.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I'm good, Mr. Mayor.
Anybody else?
No more questions.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 5 to affirmative. And, all right, citizen comments, general concerns, speakers are limited to 3 minutes. Well, that won't take long. All right, mayor and council Jerry, thanks for coming, buddy. Mayor and council to give reports. All right, Jake?
I didn't really have any much, I want to say the ditches too. That was my one thing, Brad, around the town that I've noticed is the ditches like the mayor just mentioned. And I see on the code enforcement list, I don't see a lot on here that says Avenue F. I'd like to pay attention to Avenue F. Those apartments at the end, there's stuff in there in the code book that we can hit that property owner for. Chalanika is underway and going. Like to announce that Mr. Tim Stanley and Larry Howard are co-grand marshals this year. We're moving forward. We're excited about there. So I'd like to tell you that the latest TDC director has resigned and moved on to a better job.
What, excuse me, TD or
Sewer
ED?
TD,
Okay,
Tourism Development. And I've been at this for about 8 years with them. And when they do, if they are capable of hiring somebody else, I'm just not sure if I'm going to get up there and be involved with it anymore. So maybe it's your job to appoint somebody. We don't.
well, that's always been the problem since,
There's,
I was on, I did it, and
it's just,
I never went to the meetings because you were there, so.
since this
Yeah.
last girl's been there, I'm gonna say she's been there 8 months. She hasn't, they keep her hands tied. She isn't able to do anything. And, she just, like a lot of us that are on that board at our wits' ends. So I just want to make you aware that I probably won't be doing too much TDC here lately.
Well, I mean,
So they have an employee.
they won't have an employee, so there won't be a
Right.
big deal. All right,
That's it.
Alicia,
Um,
thank you, Jake.
I want the board to send, something for the service for Miss Donna. If y'all are all okay with that.
We need to do that.
The splash pad, is that part ordered? It's ordered, it's just back ordered.
On Friday.
Okay.
I need to get a hold of you.
Okay. I was honestly right this second, but I'm just like, make sure, if it's not ordered, I'm about to say, let's rebuild it. So that's where I was just at. So I just want to make sure that it was ordered.
Larry says, oh, my budget.
Yeah. Are we gonna have a Christmas luncheon for the employees?
We usually do.
What day and time?
Um,
That
Have we
Friday,
decided the Friday before?
22nd.
We're working a half a day that day.
yeah, we'll close
Okay.
down the doors at like 11, do
Okay.
our lunch, and then go home.
All right, I was just making sure we have that. And then when are the garbage cans supposed to be here?
I haven't got a date out yet. I know we submitted everything to him.
To get
He
stuff
hasn't-
from Miss Donna.
No
don't
date
think so.
of delivery.
That's
And then
only-
what
Who
about
they
the
gonna- who they
attachment
gonna
for the
appoint?
trucks?
We have 2 quotes.
He was asking if we need a
We're looking for a
motion
third quote
for
She needs
Brian's
to come in.
down store. No.
to have someone come in and to
Sunflower.
install the lifters.
Right.
What are
So-
they gonna-
Probably-
What are they gonna
We
do?
look
I've
at
got
it,
3 quotes and all of them to say $100.
Okay, so it's not a long turnaround time. We're not worried
Are
about
they
time.
coming here to do it, or are we gonna have to drive the truck off? 'Cause that was one thing
We
before.
discussed it.
Yeah. there's a lot
We'll
of.
probably have to take the truck somewhere to get it.
Yeah.
It's pretty labor intensive.
Right. Okay, but it's not a long turnaround, so it'd be fine.
Week, probably. at the most.
Okay.
To clarify, everybody's good that the city buys a spread for Miss Donna?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I just want to make sure
Yeah.
we're good with that.
And that's it.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Alicia. Mr. Decker?
You gotta get them guys a pump.
I'm gonna get into the budget tomorrow.
I think the quote's in my email.
Good deal. They need it.
We can get quotes somewhere else.
What happened to the old one, but we don't
Probably.
have a pump for them guys and they need a good one.
Yeah, the old diaphragm without an old.
I had, 2 calls, and Larry, I would like you to get in touch with Archie for the city, find out what they're doing, or can we get a schedule in town for animal control? There's dogs running loose. I don't know, the cats are, some streets are really bad. See if we can get something. We used to get a report from her.
Well, she's been on light duty.
I know she's been on light duty, I'm aware of that, but
Okay.
see if he can work up a schedule where we can get somebody else from the county barn. I know they've got somebody else doing it to run down here and slow down a little and see what's going on the streets. Thank you. And, one other question, was there any paperwork that you guys filled out on that incident yesterday?
I did not, I just told them there would be no more of it. That was the only chance they had.
Both of them? Okay. I think that's,
Do you want to,
one employee was mowing another employee's grass. Probably shouldn't be cutting around the streets.
is that
He was
a,
getting his grass cut by one of our employees.
So you warn the employee?
Either one of them two do get caught out again, no longer employees.
But my point is you gave them a verbal. But did you document the personnel file? It needs to be documented, please.
Thank you, Brett.
well, would that be a verbal or is that are we talking about a written, final written?
Well, he said he gave a verbal, but
Okay.
but it needs to be documented in the personnel file.
That there was a verbal.
There was a verbal.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Okay,
That's all.
you have anything else,
No, that's all.
Brad?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The one thing I had, we've already covered with the spraying the ditches. So I'm good, unless anybody had anything for me. Okay, item 11, discuss financial statements if needed. Oh, wait, a minute, I do have something. We need to post for the Christmas lights.
Okay.
Make sure that people realize, I've been riding around, there's Christmas lights everywhere, so you're gonna have a long night that night.
Just one.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Dress warm. All right. Item number 12, adjournment.
Motion adjourned.
Motion by Jake, second, any discussion? Aye.